Dr. Arikana has dedicated her life and resources, but to come under an accusation of scamming somebody. She was accused unjustly about a job she was doing because she came against the system. But people that don't know and don't follow her and don't understand what she has done and the doors that she opened and the accusations that she made that are standing, that have been proven to be true about the injustice for our people, then we have people that come against her.
That I think if the individual had just put a call to me, Ambassador, this is what I'm hearing. What do you have to say? Before they started spewing lies.
No one said she's perfect. No one says anyone is perfect. Sure, we make some mistakes. Maybe we didn't dot all the I's and cross all the T's. But the fact, when you look at the picture, her awareness and what she has done, she's put her life on the line.
Don't just watch, act. Learn the history, share the truth, stand for justice, and be part of the change.
Woo-hoo! Hey, this is Janetta. Woo! It's so I mean, things that are happening in this world today. Ah, ha, ha. Well, you know, the one thing of it is this. The fact of it is that every time a black giant rises, the world trembles. The world shakes. Yes. And you know, look, but I want you to look closely, because a lot of times when we fall, it's not the world that took us down. A lot of times it is us. Our fate is in our hands. We have control of the narrative. But a lot of times what happens is we're the ones that take ourselves down. We're taken down by our own hands, by our own pride, a lot of times by our own self-interest, not seeing the big picture. It's nothing new. Look at Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey, who decided to take a ship, take many of us back to Africa that wanted to go back to the homeland. But what did he come against? He came against opposition by those in power. It wasn't men it wasn't white men that tried to destroy him, or destroy the dream. It wasn't the FBI that did it. We had men of power and renown that used their influence to destroy what Marcus Garvey was trying to establish. It was us. And the FBI just used the weapons that we used against ourselves. Black giants rise. Do we kill our own? Why? Malcolm X, Malcolm X, a man who came above all sorts of consequences, that rose above what was trying to be done to him, to reach to a certain point that he had a testimony and a belief, and he rose up as a giant. But that wasn't good enough. Those very people that helped raise him up, Elijah Muhammad, went against him. Why? Because his light was shining brighter. It's the brightness of light we worried about. That we pulled him down, and now we celebrate him. He's dead. We celebrate the dead when they die, but we don't celebrate them while they're living. When are we going to stop? And that's not all. Let's continue on with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, that gave up his life. He gave up his children. He gave up everything. But they began to talk about him in a negative way. Though he was a womanizer, he was everything. To get those black soldiers off to the front line. Black people, important, they separated from him. They said he overstepped his bounds. And then he was killed. And we really don't know who killed him. It's a mystery. Martin Luther King, when he began to talk about capitalism, the injustice of it, when he began to fight against the war, the injustice of the war, then we turned our back on him. Martin Luther King, we celebrate him. We have a holiday. It's important. But when he was living, as he fought the battle against injustices for the black man, because he stopped talking about integration and he had nerve enough to follow the war in Vietnam, we talked against him. We were the ones that raised our voices against him. There were men, the other men and women of pride that wanted the spotlight. He was getting too much. We turned against him. We were the cause of his downfall. It was not the FBI. It was not that white man that they said killed him. It was us. It was us. And now, where are we going with this? Janetta, what are you saying? I'm saying the same thing is happening with Dr. Arikana Chihombori-Quao. We have people that have not done anything, accomplished anything, but done a few YouTube videos. And one young man said that he was in the military for 20 years. And he knows better because he's a man of God. He's a Christian. He's not an Israelite. He's not a whatever, but he's a Christian. And he knows he's righteous. And that if somebody's doing wrong, they should be called out. But did you call out the right that they've done?
But I might take this moment to specifically address that video, that mean and hateful video that was put out there with a lot of lies, that I think if the individual had just put a call to me, Ambassador, this is what I'm hearing. What do you have to say? Before they started spewing lies. And some of the lies are around, oh, she was dismissed from the AU. Do you understand the conditions that I worked under at the AU? Do you understand that I spent my own money for the AU? Do you understand that the first trip that was made by the chairman of the African Union, Musa Faki, when the chief of staff was trying to cancel such an important meeting because they couldn't get him on a flight from Senegal to the US. With 3 days to go, they were going to cancel a meeting of the AU chair with the President of the United States. I paid my own money, $35,000, to get business class seats for the chairman and 5 other people in his team. Do they know that? Why would I take 10,000? When they tried to sabotage me, I have Miss Pan Africa all set up. My contestants are already arriving in DC. I'm out of the country in South America. The sabotage that came out of the team at the mission, they don't pay the deposit, so the event can be canceled. If it were not for the likes of Sister Sylvia, who quickly sent me a message to say, Ambassador, they are canceling the event for non-payment. The man was there. They just didn't want to take the check, which I had already signed and left for them to deposit with the hotel. So what do? The letter was issued. The event was going to be canceled. So I put the charge, $25,000 deposit, on my credit card. When they wanted to cancel a diaspora event in Baltimore, I'm in Egypt. Again, they wait until I'm out of the country. A deposit was supposed to be made. I left a check that was already signed. All they had to do was take it to the hotel. No, they don't. If it were not for another employee at the hotel who happened to be from Zimbabwe, before the event could be canceled, they said, Ambassadors from Zimbabwe, can you please find out why they are not bringing the deposit? So she's the one who called me. And again, I put the deposit on my card. I can tell you, I rented a house 10,000 square feet. AU doesn't have a house in DC. $3,000 housing allowance is what I received. Where do you live in DC for $3,000 housing allowance? I got my own house, 10,000 square feet, so I could properly represent my continent. Everybody thought the house I lived in DC belonged to AU. No, that was my house. It wasn't AU. And then the audacity to say I took money from AU. What a joke. What a joke. I keep hearing about this 10,000. That 10,000 never came to AU. It came to some guy called Constituency for Africa. Mel Foot. My sister, Gloria Hendon, she knew about that $10,000 that Mel Foot received from Chevron. It was supposed to be a contribution towards the hotel during one of the events. Mel Foot claims he was the one who was helping us. He was part of the fundraising team. But he says, oh, Chevron gave them the money after the event. So he spent it for his own event. Mel Foot is who received that $10,000. That was now spun around and made it look like it was something else. Gloria Hendon called Mel Foot and said, Mel Foot, why are you letting Ambassador take blame for money that you took? You need to say something. He refused. Sister Gloria Hendon can tell you that. I can go on and tell you the lies that have just been spun around. The people at the African Union were stealing money. I blocked all the holes that they were stealing money out of the AU. I messed up with their livelihood. So they set out to lie about me. That didn't stop me. I continued to do the thing I needed. I did not go to the AU. If I show you my contract with the AU, I was supposed to make $49,000 a year. Who leaves their work as a medical doctor to go and make $45,000 a year? It wasn't about money. When I went to the AU, I didn't go there for money. I can show you my contract. They graded me the lowest they could grade me because they did not want me to take the job. Those at the African Union. I did not start being paid what an ambassador should have been paid. I only found out over a year and a half later, 5 months before I left the AU, that I was being paid much less than everybody else. Because to me, I did not go to the AU for money. It was the other ambassador who said, no, they're abusing it. Look what they're paying me. I didn't know. Because it wasn't about money for me. So for anybody to try to say I stole from the AU, what a joke.
Now we're in a different generation, different time period, but the same thing is being carried through against Dr. Arikana Chihombori-Quao. The same tactics, the same types of rumors, the same accusations, and all she has done is try to make a difference in how people are being treated and what is happening with our community to reestablish who we are as a people. I don't care if we're from what country we're from or what difference in the DNA. If you got nappy hair, black skin, and you belong to Africa at all, you're included in this. Dr. Arikana has dedicated her life and resources, but to come under an accusation of scamming somebody. She was accused unjustly about a job she was doing because she came against the system. But people that don't know and don't follow her and don't understand what she has done and the doors that she opened and the accusations that she made that are standing, that have been proven to be true about the injustice for our people, then we have people that come against her and accuse her of stealing, robbing, and cheating by the very people that fired her because they didn't like her politics. They didn't like what she was saying. They didn't like the fact that she was exposing France for what they have done and what they've been doing for all these years. And we trying to demonize her and to crush her testimony. No one said she's perfect. No one says anyone is perfect. Sure, we make some mistakes. Maybe we didn't dot all the I's and cross all the T's. But the fact, when you look at the picture, her awareness and what she has done, she's put her life on the line. And you have nerve to try to bring her down? This is the way it happens. It happens with little people, like these two people on their YouTube, KingGonda and GoBlack. I'm very disappointed at what you're doing and what you're trying to do because of a few dollars that you think and you claim that was stolen, not from you, but from somebody else that gave you the testimony. No court trial has been given. Take her to court. Charge her with embezzlement or charge her. Bring over the charges and make it true. Prove it. You need to prove it. Testimony. The accusations about Arikana Chihombori-Quao were brought against her not by strangers, not by people that she is not relating to, not by people that she's not struggling for. It's brought by her own children, the own people she's representing and putting her life on the line for. She could be just a little old grandmother in a house and not say anything or do anything, but she chose a route to make a difference. And yet we have people, that the very people she's fighting for, the very people that will enjoy the freedom that's brought forth, to come against her. Those very people, they're being weaponized and used as a weapon against her. Not saying that somebody paid them to do it, but they don't need to. They did it free. She called him a Sambo. Have you read the story about Sambo? Yeah. She called him that. Sometimes you have to, when you're giving up your life, you have a right. Neither one of these, KingGonda nor GoBlack, whatever his name is, have sacrificed their lives, have been threatened. What positions have you worked in? What nerve do you have to talk about a woman that is sacrificing her life? And you're trying to claim that she's cheating somebody. She don't need to try to cheat anybody. If she was, she could do a better scam than this. I'm going to tell you something. Her life is being threatened. Her rights and privileges are being threatened. And you, a YouTuber, GoBlack, a man that dedicated 20 years to a government that hates you, that mistrusts you, that will put you in jail. You, and you're a good decision maker. You, KingGonda, what have you accomplished for our freedom? What have you accomplished for Africa's rise? What are you doing to accomplish the rise in Africa? What? What life? Have you put your life on the line? Have you done it? No one, absolutely no one is perfect. No one is perfect. Marcus Garvey was full of pride. He didn't take enough advice. And maybe he did that because there were so many against him, more against him that were in power, that try of his own. Martin Luther King had his imperfections, but the imperfections that he had nothing to do with his cause and what he was doing for us as a people. Some people said he should have fought back. Some people said he should have did this, and he should have did. There were always people that disagreed with him, and there were thorns in his side. And a lot of them hated the fact that the cameras were on him, the attention was on him, and the power was within him. And then Malcolm X, he was a drug addict. He was a jailbird. He got put in prison. He came out of prison. and with the determination to make a change, and he made a change in his life, and he became an advocate, and we turned around and we denigrated him. But when he died, when he got killed, everybody was in love with Malcolm. Oh yeah, but who took up the mantle? Our young men are going to prison. They're building it. They're making money sending us to prison. Families, only 25% of the families in the United States that are black families are living together. And we're talking about somebody like Arikana Chihombori-Quao. This is what we do. Giants rise. The Most High sends us people, but they grumbled. The reason why I know that the children of Israel were black people is because from the time Moses took them out of Egypt, they prayed for their deliverance. Then God sent them deliverance, and they fought him all the way. They fought him so hard until they died in the desert. And the only ones that came out were the young people that came out. That's who came out of the desert. That is an indication to me that it must have been us, because we're doing the same thing now. We're fighting those who are trying to deliver us. We have nerve to talk about Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, that they opened their live mouths and the way they talked about him, and the way they tried to use him as an example of some kind of justification of a person that really did something because he wanted to do it. That man has given up his wife, his family, his life, everything. Where is your life, brother? What have you done? What sacrifices are you making? You're sleeping at home every night with your wife when you want to. Watch your mouth. What are you trying to proclaim? We don't need white people to destroy us. Like they have said, give them guns and let them kill each other. We'll feed them the weapons they need and the talk they need to say about each other, and they will destroy each other. We don't have to destroy them. We will just walk in. A country that was taken over, people starving, running out, terrorism up a height of not even thought about. And you're talking about her? And you're saying that she should not be sending people to Burkina Faso because it is so dangerous. Well, you should know your own danger points. They send you to war. They sent my husband to Vietnam. It was dangerous. They threatened the fact that my children would not have a father to raise them. That was dangerous. But supposedly, we did it for America. Why can't we die for Africa? Why can't we go and see what's going on so we can get involved in our own deliverance? The colonizer, our slave masters, have not changed their tactics. They're using the same thing they've always used. It's just the times are different. And they're using us to destroy us. That's what they're doing. And we don't recognize it. We think we're being straightforward and honest, and we're giving out the facts. We're justified in the destruction. Where were you when the bellies of the people in Burkina Faso were empty? Where were you when they were fighting for their very own existence by forces that have been developed, terrorist groups that have been developed by the very people that say that they're taking care of them? Sovereignty. They're using your hand to destroy you or to destroy us. Those of us who know better should make a stand. We didn't stand against each other when it came to Marcus Garvey. We didn't stand against each other when it came to Martin Luther King. We didn't stand against each other when it came to Malcolm X. But we need to stand for the truth, because look at where we are. We're in a worse condition now than we were in the 50s and the 60s. They don't need to do anything to us. We shoot each other. And we tell ourselves that we're justified because that person is wrong and they did something wrong and they should be called out. Call them out for their right. The things they do right, call it out. Call out what Arikana has done. Call out the changes that have been made because of her voice. Call it out. You don't even know the AU and what they have done and who they work for. Puppets. The African people here say they're puppets. She came against them. She shook their tree. And they set up to destroy her. They could not shut her up when she lost her ambassadorship. They couldn't shut her up. She could have just shut up and went in a corner. But she knew that what she knows that what she's saying is right. A young woman from Zimbabwe that went to medical school and spent time in the United States working. She could just stay in the comfort of the American government. She could just be an outside African, but she remembers her past in Zimbabwe. She remembers what has happened and what is being done. And she wants to do something about it. And you're going to try to destroy her? You're going to try to show people what you're so right because you check everything out. You're so visible. We know everything about you because you've laid your life and yourself on the line. And you've been so open, KingGonda and GoBlack. Your voice is powerful. But what are you saying? You got children. You're trying to raise them in a world of slavery? Because long as we black people don't have rights over our oil, our gold, our minerals, our wealth, as long as we don't have that, we're enslaved. We're the richest people in the world, but yet living as the poorest. And we have people that are like crabs in a barrel. Soon as we pull up, they try to pull us back with their so-called truth and knowledge. If you like this video, if you believe what I'm saying is true, if you understand what's going on, if you want to change in our lives, like this video, share it with somebody. Join ADDI. I hadn't joined ADDI, but because of this, I'm joining. I want to be in the group of people that make a change. Share it. And subscribe. Subscribe. There's a lot of things you need to learn about Africa. And it's just not how many houses, how much does a house cost. If that's the only reason why you're coming over here, because it's cheaper to live, and you want to know how you can live and where, if that's all you're concerned, this has to be with a purpose, because it takes something to live over here. If you're an American citizen, or you've been in England, or you've been living your life in Germany and a lot of other countries that are considered as developed countries, you don't know the sacrifices that are being made over here. You don't know it. You need to learn. You need to do more than just scan the internet for something that sounds good. You need to know about your inheritance. You need to make a change. Our men are going to prison. They're being killed over here like I don't know what. They're trying to make our population dwindle. We had 40 million people in the United States 20 years ago, 30 years ago. We still got 40 million black people. Why? We need to make a change. We need to make a change. Let's support each other. Let's take care of things. Let's not try to destroy each other and destroy the mission. Most of all, destroy the mission. And that's what happened. Marcus Garvey's mission was destroyed. Martin Luther King's mission was destroyed. Malcolm X's mission was destroyed. The Black Panther Stokely Carmichael's mission was destroyed. Those that are in leadership and Ibrahim Traore's mission could be destroyed. Patrick Lumumba's mission was destroyed. And a lot of the destruction from the mission came from the very people they were trying to help. When are we going to stop? Okay, this is Janetta. I'll talk to you later. Hey, love you. Hey, this is Janetta, and you're watching Africa Speak